Alright, so this is the second part of the final battle arc featuring Heidi and Firis. So these are the next two Black Rose members that we'll be checking out today in this episode of the Legend Fes Breakdown video. Whew, let's give it a whirl. I will have to say, Thief of Rose Heidi is going to be one of the strongest breakers, at least not on top of replacing Master's Right Hand Razer. But if that target is weak against Strike Element, whew, good luck with that. Alright, I will skip this one since this is just the same passive as Valeria and Liddy has. You can check out the first part of the Legend Fes Breakdown featuring those characters. So let's focus on Heidi. Short summary is more or less a strong breaker if the enemies are weak against Strike Element. So this one allows her to boost her own stun damage by 40% when attacking a weakness for one turn. So only enemies that are weak against her will be able to buff her own stun damage, or break damage, I will have to say in the Japanese version. Now, this could be useful in item war since this will enable her to restore item gauge by 10%. Liddy also does the same thing. She can also restore item gauge at a percentage. I think I forgot what the amount was, but should be the same as the one Heidi will be using at skill 1. Skill 2, Rosa Clavo. 167 damage, 141% break damage, 200 ticks of weight. This allows her to act as the same as Ryza, Master's Right Hand Ryza, but debuffs only for one target. So much like Ryza, she can also reduce strike. She can also reduce the elemental resistance by 30% for 3 attacks. This is somewhat a bit higher than Ryza's because Ryza's skill 2 does attack all enemies at a less effectiveness rate for only, I think it was 2 attacks. But Heidi, on the other hand, since she is only targeting one enemy, this will be effective if you are targeting a particular enemy that will likely counterattack, or if you're just gonna be debuffing its shields or resistance. This also allows her to boost physical attack to the ally with the highest physical attack by 50% for one turn. Now, do take note that Heidi's physical attack is 861. If you have an attacker that has the highest physical attack other than Heidi, then Heidi will be able to benefit that character for one turn. This is more or less a bigger difference in terms of giving like significant power. So I've already sent out samples, but Valeria will be able to take advantage of this skill too. Do not, I'm referring to the Black Rose or Swartz Rose Valeria. On top of you can use either Empel. Empel can be a physical supporter since his skill 1 and skill 2 is not limited to a particular element. Heidi, on the other hand, will be able to just boost physical attack to that selected attacker. So if you have Valeria, you can try your luck to buff the strongest attacker for the strike element, so you can have your supporter for your strike team. On top of that, you can also have a significant chance to stack the strike resistance and then the highest physical attack that will amplify Valeria's skill 2 or burst skill movement, burst skill attack. Anyway, Disparosa.
そろそろ攻め時。今すぐ指示を。使える手は全部よし。行くっきゃないか。私だってやるときゃやるんだ。こいつでとどめだ。
Disparosa has 240% damage with 150% break damage. Now this actually works like Master's Right Hand Ryza, but since she is attacking all enemies, she does have one restriction, which is only enemies that are weak against Strike Element will be getting a force stun on the target. After attacking, this will boost an ally with the highest physical attack by 25% for one turn. That buff is similar to skill 2. However, obviously the burst skill has the bigger difference. Now, disregard the upgraded stats since you will need to upgrade her from 3 to 5 stars if you want to see this high maximum stat. But regard this effect because you will need if you're going to need Heidi to force break Weltex in chapter 9 and 11. You can also use this on bosses or enemies that are weak against strike. I mean, it could be useful for strike towers, especially that challenge is still ongoing as of recording. Now she does have her own ability. Come on, follow-up attack. When the target is stunned, restore the item gauge by 30% and boost all allies' battle item damage dealt to enemies by 100% with a maximum of 200. This is going to be useful in any part of Item War, since the event is ongoing in countdown to the game's half anniversary. Technically, half anniversary campaign is ongoing, as the game says, but I would see this only like the countdown to the game's actual 6-month anniversary. But anyway, skill ability useful for Item War. Hopefully, we can get more events like this that will be emphasized on using our the item damage or some sting. Now, green and yellow, these are gift colors. She has Shizu Charge, Slash Shield, and Stun Damage Boost. Perfect. Long story short, I guess if you don't mind having a physical team, especially Heidi will be useful for taking down enemies before the enemies can even strike. I just say, I'm just gonna say, Heidi is likely going to be the strongest breaker, because not other than that she does have force break, but she does have only one restriction for strike weakness. Ryzen on the other hand can force break an enemy that is regardless of any element that she'll have to use. Heidi is just going to be like just gonna be an all-team slammer. If there's going to be one later down the line during the Japanese version's run, as of right now, there are now fire element variants that I'll have to check it out once those will be available in the global version. So if you need Heidi, particularly for enemies weak against strike element, the Thief of Rose shall be your recommended bet. If you don't mind, you don't need a character that will have to force break on emphasis on any element. Just fine being on strike element. In the Japanese version, Heidi's leader skill has an effect that will allow friends and family will be getting the all stat buff by 30%. She is part of Lantarna, friends and family, and Kyokinsha there. By this point, I guess friends and family tag is now going to have the most number of characters that you can get, and it's pretty easy to build if you know which character and variant that you're going to use. So other than that, I believe like more than it's about to be half of the family tag that will have now physical element characters, but some of them are magical elements. So if you can take advantage of the friends and family party, Heidi will be able to increase that all stats, no regrets. So onward to our Crystal Maiden, or our Haruka Konoe of this game. Firis, the Crystaller of Rose, and her B-roll is actually long. I guess I can tell you that the Crystaller of Rose is now back with the all-new Chunibyo persona, and nonetheless, she has removed her backpack and donned her wings to spread up to, I guess, engage battle against Reltex. But unfortunately, Firis is the only character in the Swords Rose or Black Rose set that uses a magical element. Do note, all the other characters are using a physical element. So disregard this. This is the same as the other Swords Rose characters. Now, do note for this one, I'll leave you wide open. When a party member uses a battle item, grants herself a very high chance to inflict brittle damage on the target for one attack after attacking. This can be used on multiple items, but you can use at least one item to take advantage of her inflicting brittle on enemies, so you can see that in the B-roll for the trial battle that I'm showcasing right now. Of course, her magical stats are the highest, 870 to 814. Skill 1 is Amethyst Shoot. This is 68 damage percent, 70% break damage, 160 weight. This will boost all ally skill damage by 10% for one turn. Okay. This is pretty useful since she is going to buff a little bit of an attack for any element, for any ally, any element skill damage for one turn. And it's pretty normal for supporter role. Rock Avalanche. This is pretty interesting. If you have Sophie from the second Legend Fes Banner, the release celebration one, you may notice this effect looks the same as hers, but Firis on the other hand targets all enemies, so therefore at the sacrifice of her effectiveness for one attack, she'll be able to target all enemies at once, which is 145% damage, 13% stun with 200 ticks of weight. I guess it's pretty much gonna be useful. I would still have to prefer using Sophie, especially if you're going to use Sophie on a particular boss battle for enemies that have high resistance on any of the elements. Just say, like, as long as it has to be any of those that can be like 0% below. Now, Firis on the other hand is slightly weaker than Sophie, but at least on the other hand, you get her to use the Rock Avalanche on all enemies at once. Now, do note if you're going to use this ability, I'll leave you wide open. This will allow her to get at least one chance to, well, brittle. For those who have Christmas Resna, the Envoy one, you may notice this is the same status effect that Resna gives towards enemies. Brittle, Gachikochi. This allows the next attack for that enemy affected with that status effect will be a guaranteed critical strike. So, so if you have, for example, an attacker, say like Izana or an upcoming Resna variant, you will be able to critical damage regardless of that critical rate. So yeah, that was briefly explained last time I tried from the Christmas, the Star Gift Heaven's Legend Fes Breakdown video. You can check that in the video description below. Now, last but not least, Twilight Bloom. Twilight Broom. Broom. Why did I even say broom? Twilight Broom inflicts 300% damage, 37% break damage with 200 ticks of weight. Do note that this is only at level 5. Stats will be weakened once you get her at 3 stars. After attacking, this will reduce target damage by 20% for 2 turns and reduces all resistance of that target by 35% for 2 attacks. This is actually effective. On top that it will allow to debuff all enemies' damage for 2 turns, which is a shocker considering they're already like frozen and crystallized. This is actually like the same effect as skill 2, the all resistance debuff, but this is for 2 attacks, so you're getting 1 extra attack further, so that the enemy will be more vulnerable than Firis skill 1. And to be honest, I wanted to get any of the 2, but I still have my Legend Fes medals on site for the last part of the final battle arc Legend Fes Banner. But to be honest, if you want someone that will guarantee, or not guarantee, like a very high chance to inflict brittle, so like let's say you'll be able to destroy enemies a bit faster thanks to that brittle, you can get Firis in case if you don't have the Christmas Envoy Resna. Resna does this the same, but it is at a chance, so it's the same for Firis. So I gotta say, the Twilight Bloom, this is slightly stronger than Sophie, because this, in fact, runs for 2 attacks, and even skill 1 is just for 1 attack, so it's just less effective comparing to Sophie for one target. But at least you're giving the benefit of inflicting more damage than Sophie's 1 target attack. So Firis is going to be useful for ice towers, especially you might need her in a bit for the upcoming Romance Grand Tournament. This was announced in the Japanese version that the renewal, the reboot of Romance Grand Tournament has started in the Japanese version, and who knows, maybe you might be able to take advantage of that upcoming Grand Tournament event. But in the meantime, you may use her on dungeons that are beneficial to ice characters, and especially she will be useful for Chapter 10 dungeon. Her gift color this time is purple to red. Traits include Magic Curse, Ice Blessing, and Magic Resistance. Up for full if that trait on the character that is using this trait is already at maximum HP. So Soul might be able to take advantage of this one, but there's also going to be a few enemies, a few defenders that might take advantage of the Magic Resistance up. But technically, if you still want to use Soul for to maintain max HP, so just for 1 attack. But yeah, onward to the Japanese version. She does have a leader skill that allows all members will be getting attack stat buff up by 8%, as long as you have at least 1 member that is part of the Adventurers tag. She is part of 2 tags, unfortunately, so this is the caveat if you were to get Crystallar of Rose Firis. She has Wise Listeners and Vulcan Adventurers. I gotta say, I think those that are part of the Adventurers tag will be able to take advantage of Firis' leader skill. But nonetheless, it is a great supporter, but not overall the strongest. I mean, heck, because she is part of a magical element, unfortunately that she will be least useful for the final battle arc. But if you want her to guarantee that critical hit for your next attacker, I mean, Firis is more or less gonna be your choice, and somewhat stronger than Sophie, damage-wise towards all enemies, but not as strong as Sophie if you're going for high effectiveness on status resistance debuff. Overcoming despair, and I will have to lower the volume for a while. Now, this is useful for strike breakers, I think. So those who are for characters that are strike affinity, boost stun damage up to 52%. Now, this is useful, and I gotta say, 31.25% buff, got no doubt about it. And yes, the illustration is somewhat a bit spoilers. Yeah, that's about it, Ali. Now, the illustration for Overcoming Despair does feature Heidi, Flocke, and Firis now. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to give away what to expect on the next Legend Fes Banner. Now, the strike affinity stun up if you have strike breakers like Flocke or Charlotte. You might be able to use this one. If you don't have Black Rose Heidi, you can use it on the 2 other characters I mentioned. I might miss someone because I only mentioned the 2 characters that have strike and breaker roll. But anyway, as long as it's any character that is strike ability, then anyone will be able to take advantage of this Memoria's stun damage. Do note that breakers will be able to take advantage of this Memoria better than any of the other roles, obviously. Part 2 of the Legend Fes Breakdown video, the Swartz Resolution. No doubt about it, somewhat the middle act to at least stack up the chances to win the Chapter 9 and 11 boss. I would go for Heidi if you want to break enemies faster, especially if she were to land over on burst panel. But if you have critical attackers, say not just Isana, Doji, Firis can be your preferred character if you want to go for the next attack to be guaranteed critical hit. Or if you want to get easy clear on the chapter 10 dungeon. So I've set it up. So guys, that's going to be it. I will show you what to expect for the next Legend Fes Breakdown character since the members on that Memoria are already revealed. I'll see you guys next time, and yeah, good luck using your lodestar gems on either Heidi, Firis, and not just Lady and Valeria. Yes, those two characters are still ongoing as of this recording, but there is Heidi and Firis' banner will only be available a day after Flocke and Soul's Legend Fes Banner will start. So you have at least one more chance to get Heidi and Firis if you're to pass the time and you get Flocke and Soul's banner. So anyway, that's going to be it. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Sorry, this is going to be a one-shot recording. Within next week or so, I'll try to explain a little bit on the best supporter Legend Fes Banner that I'll have to cover. So anyway, see you guys next time. Blue Sky account, Discord server, link in the video description below. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye. See you soon.